live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Log Talk Radio.
Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm in another edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. Apologize for the blow-up last night. It is May 9th, 2015 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. Wish your moms a happy Mother's Day. I know I'm going to wish my mom one. Not a good result at all for the Tigers as they fall to the Kansas City Royals 6-2 in the middle of the 3-game series at Comerica Park. Royals, with their win, regain first place in the American League Central Division. They set the tone with Alcides at the DL and hitting a home run to left on the very first pitch of the game. And then Eric Hosmer hit an RBI double to make it 2-0. Go to the top of the second. Alcides Escobar struck again with an RBI single, making it 3-0. Eric Hosmer struck again with an RBI single, making it 4-0. Tigers would get on the board in the bottom of the second with Nick Castellanos getting an RBI sacrifice fly, scoring Yoenis Cespedes, making it 4-1. Drew Butera, who was just acquired from the Angels, grounded out, but getting an RBI on that one, making it 5-1 in the top of the third. The KC would get another one on an Omar Infante RBI single, making it 6-1. Tigers would add one more before the scoring would end on a Nick Castellanos RBI triple on a fly ball, scoring Olympic Victor Martinez, making it 6-2 in the bottom of the sixth. For Anibal Sanchez, he got lit up with six runs against, 5 earned on 9 hits, walking 3 and striking out 2 in 6 innings pitched. So his ERA is now at 5.44. The Tigers bullpen did a great job. Blaine Hardy only gave up 2 hits and struck out a batter in 1 inning of play. Al Albuquerque and Jabba Chamberlain would each give up a hit in an inning each of work. No walks, no strikeouts for Al Albuquerque. 2 strikeouts by Jabba Chamberlain, who has now decreased his ERA to 5.87. Albuquerque's to 7.45, Hardy's to 4.76. If anybody has any thoughts on today's defeat, call in at 646-478-4837, please and thank you. Once again, that number is 646-478-4837. I am also simulcasting on Ustream.tv and Google Plus Hangouts. Google plus Hangouts. Taking a look at the rest of the AL Central standings. Water. The Twins have now won 4 straight. They are one game back of the Tigers for second place in the division at 18-13. The White Sox are in 11th place, are in 4th place at 11-16. 2.5 games back of the Twins, winning one today. The Indians, however, are 10-19, and that's 2 games back of the White Sox, still in last place. The Tribe have lost 3 straight. I'll get to the injury updates in a second, but I'll read the rest of the standings to you. The Yankees lead the AL East at 19-12, followed by the 17-14 Tampa Bay Rays, the 16-15 Toronto Blue Jays, the 13-15 Baltimore Orioles, and the 13-17 Boston Red Sox. In the NL West, the Houston Astros lead at 19-11, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 14-16, the Seattle Mariners 12-16, the Texas Rangers 12-18, the Athletics 12-19. To the National League, the Mets lead the NL East. The New York Mets do. The New York Mets lead the NL 11, followed by the Washington Nationals, who are at 16-15, and then the Atlanta Braves and Miami Marlins tied for 3rd place at 14-16, and the Philadelphia Phillies struggling at 11-20. To the NL Central, the surging St. Louis Cardinals are in the lead at 22-8. Still have yet to reach double digits in the loss column. The Cubs are in 2nd place, 15-14, followed by but the Cincinnati Reds are hot for that spot. The Reds are in 3rd place at 15-15. The Pittsburgh Pirates are 14-16, and the Milwaukee Brewers are 10-21. A close race for 2nd place in the National League Central Division between the Cubs, Reds, and Pirates. And finally, the AL West, the Dodgers lead at 19. Diego Padres 16-15. The 15-15. The Arizona Diamondbacks at 13-15. Finally, the Colorado Rockies at 11-16. All last place teams, in other words, have at least 10 wins. In other words, they're in double digits in the win. They're all in double digits in the win column already. Some would say that the American League Central Division, some including Detroit Free Press beat writer Drew Sharp, have said that the American League Central Division has been the best division in Major League Baseball history.
Out of your mind.
Not exactly. Not exactly, Drew. From what I can tell in the standings, the American League East, is apparently the best division in baseball, from the 19-12 Yankees and the 13-17 Red Sox. But back to the Royals and Tigers. Shane Green will indeed start tomorrow night at 8:05 on ESPN when he takes on Chris Young. Shane Green is 3-2 with a 5.56 ERA. His last 3 starts were very rough. Last time out, he gave up 5 runs in Chicago and took a heavy loss, 5-2 in the opener earlier this week. That was the past Tuesday. He is still 3-2 with a 5.56 ERA. Chris Young, by the way, is 2-0 with a 1.06 ERA. Jeffrey Flanagan writes at MLB.com, headlining Young looking to be spot on in finale against Tigers. Right-hander Chris Young, who threw 5 no-hit innings in his last emergency start, will get another emergency start on Sunday in the rubber game at Comerica Park, filling in for the injured Jason Vargas. I said Jose Vargas by mistake earlier. It's Jason Vargas. The Tigers will counter with right-hander Shane Green in the series finale. This is wrong here. It's 3-2, not 3-1. It's 3-2. 3 things to know about this game. Young has a mastery over the Tigers. He is 3-0 in his career with a 1.41 ERA. He is at Comerica and has a 2.08 ERA. Number 2, Jose Iglesias is expected to miss a 4th consecutive game on Sunday with left groin tightness. Since he aggravated the injury last week after 2 days off, manager Brad Ausmus said he plans to sit Iglesias longer to try to make sure the injury doesn't turn, which is always a good plan. And number 3, Green has faced the Royals just once last year in a 4-3 loss while with the Yankees. He gave up 5 hits, no earned runs in 5 innings. After a strong start this season, Green has given up 15 runs in his last 2 starts. Speaking of Jose Iglesias, Brad Ausmus expects to have Iglesias, their number 1 shortstop, phenom, to make his return to the starting lineup Tuesday after the Tigers have Monday off following this series with the KC Royals. Also, a couple more injury updates. Starting pitcher David Price, who tripped over a bat tossed by home plate umpire Alan Porter. Yeah, Porter should be fired. Price had an MRI this morning that showed that he has a mild hamstring strain, a mild strain in his left hamstring, and therefore expects to make his next start. The Tigers will not put David Price on the disabled list whatsoever. That's good news. But it could have been worse. But what is worse, though, for the Tigers, but not for some of us. Their catcher Alex Avila has been put on the 15-day disabled with a loose body in his left knee after taking a foul ball in his knee in batting practice Friday before last night's 6-5 walk-off win. Another. Apologies, I'm waiting for this to load. Anybody has any questions or comments or opinions, just call in on this episode at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837. I'm going to ask one of my friends here on Facebook here. I asked Ryan Schuling, one of the co-hosts of the WBBL morning show on 107.3 WBBL FM Greenville. He has yet to respond. But moving on to hockey, the Red Wings have signed prospect Dominic Turgeon, whichever position he plays, to a 3-year entry-level deal, but he will return to the WHL's Portland Winterhawks for the upcoming season. Ryan Truling just told me a loose body is like a floating bone chip. Oh, man. So, very bad news for Avila. but that does leave the door open for James McCann, who's been hitting solidly thus far this season. Tigers also had to call up Brian Holiday, another backup catcher from Toledo. Again, 646-478-4837 is the number to call. That is 646-478-4837. Name, city, and state. I'm flying solo tonight. I am Taylor Phillips. Ed Smith is working on another. Ed Smith is working on another HBO boxing documentary. It's not about the Mayweather-Pacquiao matchup this time. It's a different matchup. McCann is batting .313 thus far. He went 2 for 4. Anthony Ghost went 1 for 5, is still batting .329. Miguel Cabrera went 0 for 4. Victor Martinez and Jonas Cespedes each went 2 for 4. JD Martinez and Nick Castellanos had finished 1 for 3. Castellanos drove in both runs, got 2 RBIs. Ian Kinsler went 0 for 4. Andrew Romine went 0 for 3. Before Rajay Davis would pinch hit and get out. And back to hockey, the Penguins have erased Mike Babcock from their head coach searching list. So in other words, they are no longer no longer pursuing Mike Babcock as their head coach. They said they are not interested in Babcock's services. I did find an article. I just found an article from Hockey Night in Canada's Don Cherry from prohockeytalk.nbcsports.com. Written by Cam Tucker, headlining Babcock should avoid a rebuilding team, says Cherry. We continue to wait for a decision from Mike Babcock. Will he remain as head coach of the Detroit Red Wings or choose to take over behind the bench of another National Hockey League team, starting a new path in his career? Don Cherry, during his Coach's Corner segment on Friday, offered his input and advice for Babcock, quote unquote, of all the guys in the world that should tell Babcock what to do, it's me. I have some suggestions for him. I would say San Jose. Don't go to a rebuilding team. It'll break your heart. You only have one life. Enjoy it. Go to San Jose. I bet he goes to San Jose. I think that's where he's going to go. So Don Cherry has quite a different choice from us thinking that he's headed to Toronto and be the head coach of the Maple Leafs. In other words, Cherry wants Mike Babcock to be the next head coach of the San Jose Sharks. Ding. There is a link of chooses to stay away from a rebuilding team, it would mean the likes of an Edmonton Oilers for another instance would have to look elsewhere for a head coach. Look for another person to be their next head coach. And Cherry explained he doesn't think Edmonton should go after Babcock at all. He said, quote unquote, they've got a good coach there in interim bench boss Todd Nelson. They should hire that coach. You can't leave him hanging in the wind like that. He's a good coach. I bet Babcock doesn't go to Edmonton. %58% of fans on Sportsnet.ca have voted the Oilers to choose Mike Babcock as their. The other 42% voted San Jose. Those are the only two choices. The Leafs were not. The Leafs were not included in this in that way. So that's going to do it for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Another episode thereof. I hope you enjoyed another relaxing episode of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Ed Smith and I will be back tomorrow night at 11:30 after the Tigers take on the Royals at 8:05 at Comerica Park on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball with Dan Schulman. Also, you can listen to that game tomorrow night on ESPN Radio. You saw today's game on Fox Sports 1 and listen to it on ESPN Radio as well. Until tomorrow night at 11:30, this is Taylor Phillips, flying solos, saying TTFN, ta-ta for now.
90 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.